Joining us now, the man demanding answers, Republican Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina. Great to have you on the show. Thank you. Big announcement today.
Yes, I hope. Well, there's a little bit of confusion here. Okay. Senator Whitehouse and myself met with the Director Comey, who I like, 2 weeks ago and said we're going to have a hearing on Russia. And I need to know if there's a criminal investigation regarding the Trump campaign or anything about Russia, because I don't want to interfere with it. So I don't want to go blindly down the congressional path.
Right.
If there's a criminal investigation, you need to inform Congress, because we're going to look into all things Russia. And I gave him until today to let me know, and I haven't heard yet.
Okay, but he was very...
So Senator Whitehouse's statement, I think, was a bit misconstrued. He did not promise us. We said we want to know by the 15th.
I'm curious if you have questions about this, because the FBI director seemed quite loquacious about Hillary Clinton, and statement after statement came out. Don't we deserve some answers about the claims the president made even?
Well, number one, the Congress needs to know what it's doing. If you're going to have multiple congressional investigations, and there is a criminal ongoing investigation, we don't want to run into it, number one. The President of the United States has claimed that the former President of the United States had his campaign surveilled.
Yes.
The only way you could do that is with a warrant. That's fairly big news. He challenged us, President Trump, to look into it. I wrote a letter last week. Give us any evidence of a warrant, Pfizer or criminal warrant against the Trump campaign. Haven't heard a word. So we have oversight over the FBI and Judiciary Committee. If he runs to the Intel Committee and he talks about this with ignoring the Committee of Primary Jurisdiction, that will be a problem for him. I like him a lot. Senator Grassley is firmly in our camp, the chairman. He's threatening to block the Deputy Attorney General nomination until we get the information from the FBI we requested last week.
Okay, Mark Halperin.
Why should a constituent of yours in Aiken, South Carolina, care about any of this?
Well, Aiken's a wonderful place. Every American should care whether or not a foreign power tried to interfere in our election. Every American should want to know what happened when the current president claims the former president surveilled their campaign, legally or illegally. These are questions that need to be answered in a democracy to people in Aiken. Russia is trying to break the back of democracy all over the world. That's what the hearing will be about. They're trying to destroy NATO, the European Union, alliances that have kept the world a safe place, and Russia's an autocratic dictatorship that kills everything they don't like when it comes to scrutinizing Putin, and is in our national security interest to stop this and punish people who interfere in our elections. It was Democrats today. It could be Republicans in the next election, and I want to punish any foreign power who tried to interfere in the American democracy.
David Ignatius.
And hello to Aiken, by the way.
Hello, Aiken.
Senator Graham, what do you make of the fact that it's taken Director Comey so long to answer your question and Senator Whitehouse's? Is it possible that there's some kind of surveillance that was undertaken that's complicated? It takes 2 weeks to figure out.
I'm beginning to wonder. I've always thought, well, you know, this is just Donald Trump tweeting about a story he read. I have no evidence, and I've looked pretty closely, that a warrant was ever obtained. How could you surveil somebody who's part of a campaign? A FISA warrant, Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. If there's a connection between a Trump operative and a foreign agent, you could get a FISA warrant. A criminal warrant, if the Trump campaign was being involved in criminal activity. That's one way. I have no evidence of either. But now I want to know, was there any surveillance at all, with a warrant or without a warrant? The longer it takes to answer that question, the more suspicious I get.
Could I just follow up and ask you, Senator, are you confident that the FBI investigation is going to proceed, whatever its nature, in a way that's going to get answers to the questions you think folks in Aiken, South Carolina want to know?
Yeah, I think Director Comey will do his job, but one, I'll need to know if there is an investigation on the criminal side so I don't interfere with it, and I want to find out what we can do in Congress to shield this investigation from political influence. The next hearing we'll have in Judiciary is how do you protect a criminal investigation, if there is one, from political interference?
Okay, Willie Geist.
Senator Graham, it's Willie down up in New York. Good to talk to you this
You're
morning.
You're not in Aiken?
I forgot where I was for a second. I wish I were in Aiken. How would it change your investigation in your subcommittee if Director Comey did come to you today and say, no, there's no FBI investigation? How would that change things for you?
Well, then we'd have to sit down and find out, is there any evidence of Trump collaboration that would allow Congress to go down that road. Now, Director of National Intelligence Clapper a couple of weeks ago said two things that were pretty stunning. There was no FISA warrant. There was no warrant at all issued against the Trump campaign, and there was no evidence of collusion during his watch, which only ended in January. But if there is no criminal investigation of the Trump campaign, I think the country needs to know that. I think Congress needs to know that. Then we'd retool and see what we would do in light of that statement.
Retool how, Senator? What would that mean? What questions would be different for you after that?
Well, I don't know. I'd have to sit down with our investigators and see, does that change things? But I think, wouldn't you like to know if there's a criminal investigation of the Trump campaign?
Like to know.
I'd like to know.
Is the attorney,
to his credit, the President of the United States would like to know.
Is the Attorney General, is Jeff Sessions preventing Comey from talking?
No. Jeff is out of this. No, he's out of everything Trump. He's recused himself. So then why would Director Comey, just put yourself in his shoes.
Okay.
This is a hard thing to deal with. You got an accusation of a current president against a former president.
Of being a felon.
Of being a felon. You're getting all kind of inputs from the Congress about releasing information that you may be concerned about, multiple committees to answer to. But here's what I would tell Director Comey, who I like. Do what's best for the country. Give us in broad terms, is there a criminal investigation? Answer my letter about whether or not there's a warrant, then you would be serving the country well.
Can I say about health care? You know the House well, you know the Senate well. The whole party wants to get rid of the Affordable Care Act. The president's going out on the road today to try to help rally support for that macro message.
Right.
What can he do to try to bring the party back together on the mission that everybody seems to share, but the details are vexing?
You know, I talked to him last night, 2 nights ago, for about an hour. He's really working hard. He was willing to go bowling with the Freedom Caucus. That shows you how much he wants a bill. I don't think I could have done that. The bottom line is to my Freedom Caucus friends, Rand Paul is lost, so you're down to losing 2 more. Rand believes refundable tax credits are entitlement in a new form. Medicaid is the big problem here. My state said no to Medicaid expansion. Medicaid is already broken. You have Ohio, New Jersey that took Medicaid expansion. The bill in the House allows Medicaid to be expanded all the way through 2019 for the entire country. So you're going to have every governor throughout the nation enrolling millions of people in Medicaid, and it's already structurally broken. So you would lose me if that's coming over. I'm not going to punish South Carolina, and I'm not going to take a broken program and add millions to it before we can reform it.
Mike Barnicle.
Okay, Senator, let's stay on this topic, but switch cities. Take me to Greenville, South Carolina.
That's right, okay.
And we're talking about, you know, someone 65, 66 years of age looking at potentially losing a lot of health benefits. And we're looking at a maybe 27, 28-year-old single mom with a couple of young kids living on the margin. What specifically would you propose to do to the House bill when it comes to the Senate to take care of the problems of people like that?
Well, somebody 65 is on Medicare, so if you're in Greenville and you're 65, you're good to go. How about somebody like me who's about to turn 62? So here's the deal about insurance. The whole goal of insurance is to get young, healthy people to pay in, let the company take the money, make some money on the money you've been given, and pay claims when they come due. I would like to broaden the number of insurance companies that you can choose from. Competition lowers prices. Obamacare is collapsing in South Carolina. We had 5 plans on the Obamacare exchange in 2014. 4 have dropped out. We down to Blue Cross and Blue Shield. 27% premium increase this year. They're about to go out of the market. So Obamacare is going to collapse. Here's what I would tell the president. If you can't get a better deal, and if you can't protect that 62-year-old worker in Greenville from having dramatic premium increases because Democrats won't work with you and you can't get the Republican Party on board, stop, take a time out, let it collapse, then turn to the Democrats and say, this was the system you created. It has collapsed. Now help me replace it. That's what I would do.
David Ignatius.
Senator, I want to come back to those folks in Aiken who want to know about Russia.
Yes.
Can we go to Myrtle Beach?
No. I love Myrtle Beach.
Okay,
if
we're
it
going to
turns
Myrtle
out
Beach.
that there is a criminal investigation being conducted by the FBI, then the question is whether that should be referred to an independent special counsel for prosecution.
Absolutely good question.
And so I want to know what you think about that.
Okay, so we're having a new Deputy Attorney General come forward. He was introduced by 2 Democrats. He's from the state of Maryland. I want to give him a chance to be able to look at this investigation, monitor it, advise it, up until the point I believe he cannot do that. I do not believe he would be disqualified. because he was picked by President Obama. The need for a special prosecutor would only arise if we lost confidence in him if there is a criminal investigation. Congress, I'm okay with doing business where each committee looks at their own backyard. I don't feel a need for an independent investigation yet, but if I thought Congress got broken to where we couldn't get to the bottom of it, then I'd call for an independent investigation. Director Comey is a good man. Tell us if there's a warrant. Tell us there's a criminal investigation. Then we'll find out whether or not we need a special prosecutor.
Makes sense. Willie Geist, last question.
So, Senator Graham,
This is a lot before 8 o'clock.
It is.
I don't like this. Okay, go ahead.
No offense taken, Senator Graham. How about shout out one more South Carolina city? That'll make you feel better.
Let's go to Rock Hill.
Okay,
Right.
Rock Hill, South Carolina. You have not only suggested that Donald Trump ought to provide his tax returns, but you said a couple of weeks ago there ought to be a new law starting in 2020 that a presidential candidate must disclose his tax returns. So I'm curious about your reaction to the disclosure of just 2 pages last night from 2005 that showed Donald Trump made a lot of money that year and in fact paid a lot of taxes. What's your reaction to that disclosure?
What'd you learn from those 2 pages?
Well, the first thing is next time we have dinner, he's paying. That's my first reaction. I'm going to work with Democrats to pass a law prospective that anybody running for president in 2020 has to provide their tax returns. I would encourage the president to provide his tax returns. I don't intend to subpoena his tax returns unless there's a connection between his business interest and some kind of investigation of Russia. We're nowhere near there. And let me just tell you about the president. He is working really hard to put together a plan to replace Obamacare. He's reached out to every element of the Republican Party. And I told him this, 79% of the American people want us to do this together. You know, Paul Ryan says this is the last best chance for us. Well, this is the last best chance for Republicans to do it by ourselves and maybe screw it up.
Right.
So if you cannot get the product you want, Mr. President, don't buy it because Republicans tell you you have to. He's the best negotiator I've ever seen. And this idea that you're going to get purchases across state lines later by 60 votes in the U.S. Senate, that is a complete legislative fantasy. If you think buying across state lines is important to getting health care right, it's not going to happen if you need 60 votes in the Senate.
Senator Lindsey Graham making a lot of sense this morning.
Yeah, by 7:33.
What's going on? All right. Well, it's great to have you on the show. Thank you for coming
We'll do
in.
it.
We'll be
You
watching
need a
you
noon
today.
show.
I know, Jeff, you're telling me. You have no idea. Hey, did you close your microwave this morning?
Oh, no, my microwave's been this stable for, I have a flip phone, no microwave. People will be living my life soon.
Okay.
Flip phones, nothing made after 1950.
No microwave. Gotcha. All right. That explains a lot. Still ahead. Thank you so much. Still ahead.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.